Hello, welcome to everybody, this is Prem. Today we will discuss about the SaltStack tutorial and its architecture. Let's begin. In this tutorial, we will see the below contents with details. The first one is what is SaltStack, followed by why SaltStack, and we'll see some features of SaltStack. Then we'll see the core of SaltStack architecture and its structure. In the Salt it have some major components. In the next we will see the SaltStack installation and what is the use of Salt file server. SaltStack carries some benefits too. Finally we will see some of the competitors like Puppet, Ansible, and Chef. This is the DevOps life cycle as you can see, and it is an infinite loop. It is a never-ending process. It starts from plan where you gather all the requirements. The main tool used by Ansible for management is Ansible 1.3. The main tool used by Ansible for management is Ansible 1.3. Prepare a build. After that, the build application is deployed onto the test server for testing. Once testing is done, it is then deployed onto the production server for release. After the product is released, it is continuously monitored by tools like Nagios device that provides relevant feedback to the concerned teams. This feedback can be anything like the downtime, or is there any defect in the product, or how is it doing in the market. So all those things are fed back to the concerned teams, and those teams takes the necessary actions. Now I hope you all are clear with the DevOps life cycle. Now I'll move forward and we look at various tools that are used in these stages. So for code we have Git, Jira, Eclipse, Subversion. For build we have Maven Gradle. For testing we have Selenium JUnit. For continuous integration we have Jenkins Bamboo. For continuous monitoring we have Nagios Splunk. For configuration management and deployment we have Puppet, Chef, Ansible, and SaltStack. What is SaltStack? SaltStack is an orchestration and configuration management tool which allows the system administrators to perform automation of server management. SaltStack provides high-speed data connectivity and faster communication between the different systems present in the IT organization. Its multi-threaded design allows the users to run thousands of tasks simultaneously. Why SaltStack? SaltStack architecture is developed for providing speed and scale. This is the reason why this architecture is used for managing the thousands of servers at Google, LinkedIn, and many more companies. For example, if a user has thousands of servers and user wants to perform functions on every server, a user would be required to log into every server and perform function one at a time. This process will be very complicated and time-consuming, as functions like software installation and configuration based on particular criteria may consume a lot of time. To overcome this problem, SaltStack architecture has been introduced as one can perform different functions just by typing one command. Thus, SaltStack is a single solution to overcome all such issues. Features of SaltStack. SaltStack supports many useful features that were not present in the previously used configuration management tools. Some of the important SaltStack features are mentioned below. Fault tolerance. Salt minions are able to connect to multiple masters at a particular moment by the configuration of master configuration parameters as all the available masters YAML list. Every master is allowed to give commands to the Salt infrastructure. Flexible. SaltStack supports a very flexible management approach. The approach can be deployed for following the popular system management models like agent-only, server-only, agent and server, or all of them within a similar environment. Scalable configuration management. With the help of SaltStack, one can effectively manage thousands of minions per master. Parallel execution model. The parallel execution model of SaltStack enable the commands to parallel execute the remote systems. Python API. SaltStack supports the simple programming interface. It is easily extensible and modular, thus, it is easy to move to the different applications. Easy to set up. SaltStack is very easy to set up. The single remote execution architecture provided by SaltStack allows to effectively manage the different requirements of the different servers. Language agnostic. SaltStack templating engines, file type or configuration files support the different types of languages. SaltStack architecture. SaltStack Enterprise is built on top of Salt Open version and moreover provides role-based access control, RBAC, and an enterprise web console. It is designed to work efficiently with numerous servers, ranging from the local network systems to the deployment made over the various data centers. SaltStack architecture is basically a server-client model having required functionalities which are built into the single set processes. Salt utilizes a server-agent model, where the server is called the Salt Master and the agents the Salt Minion. Operating systems that are supported by SaltStack are Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Windows, Mac, SLS, X, Solaris, Oracle Linux, OpenSUSE, FreeBSD, SmartOS. Components of SaltStack. Salt Master. The Salt Master is a master daemon. This daemon is used for sending configurations and commands to the Salt slaves. Salt Master is basically a machine which manages the infrastructure and servers dictate policies. A single master is capable of handling the multiple masters. Salt Minion. Salt Minions are the slave daemons. Salt Minions receive the configuration and commands from the master daemon. The slave daemons are installed on every managed machine and configured to interact with the master daemon. It is the responsibility of Salt Minion to execute the instructions sent by the Salt Master, report job success and provide data related to the underlying host. Execution. Ad hoc commands and modules are executed against one or more Salt Minion from the command line which delivers real-time monitoring. Grains. Grains is an interface designed for providing the information related to minions. This information is static. When the Salt Minion begins, grains also get loaded, which simply indicates that information available in grains cannot be changed. Thus, the information in grains could be related to the operating system for the running kernel. Grains is case sensitive. Pillar. A pillar is an interface designed for generating or storing the highly sensitive information specific to particular slave daemons, such as passwords and cryptographic keys. It stores the information in a key value pair and the management of data is done just like Salt State Tree. Returners. This component is responsible for returning the data from Salt Minion to the other system. SaltStack Installation. If you are setting up the SaltStack environment for the first time, then, you must install the Salt Master on dedicated VM or server. After that, you need to install the Salt Minion on every system which you want to manage by using the SaltStack. Requirement for Salt configuration. A Linux server. With root or sudo access to the Linux server. To install the updates, use the following command. sudo apt-get update. You can install the Salt Master by using the given apt-get command. Command, sudo apt-get install Salt Master. For the installation of Salt Minion, you can use the following command. Command, sudo apt-get install Salt Minion. Master configuration. The Salt Master configuration can be done with the help of master configuration file. The master configuration file is present by default at etc. Salt Master directory. A notable exception can be FreeBSD, where the master configuration file is present at SR local etc. salt directory. The local interface must have an IP address. For example, interface 192.162.0.1. Once you have updated the configuration file, you need to restart the salt master with a given command. sudo service salt master restart. Minion configuration. Salt minion configuration is an easy process. Basically, one value is required to be set as the master value so that minion can easily find where the master is located. By default, the salt minion configuration is present in the etc. salt minion directory. In case of exception, configuration is in usr local etc. salt minion. After updating the configuration file, restart the salt minion by using the given command. sudo service salt minion restart. Key management. For managing all the communication between the salt master and salt minion, encryption is used. Below, the authenticated keys are mentioned which can be used for the communication between the salt master and salt minion. Salt key, L. Outcomes produced by this key. If you want to change the state of minion, you can use D key and later you can accept or reject the keys. A user can accept all the keys by using the following command. sudo salt key. Issue command, salt key listing. Salt file server. The SaltStack, which comes along with a simple file server that is used for distributing the file to different salt minions, is known as Salt File Server. It is basically a stateless 0MQ server which is developed into the master. The main purpose of Salt File Server is to represent the files for their use in the Salt state system. The Salt File Server can be used for transferring the general file to Salt minions from the Salt master. Git as a file server. Git is basically an open-source distributed version control system which is used for keeping the track of modifications made in the file. Salt sends the files using Git file server from the Git repositories. A user can configure the Git to file server backend list option, and if the user wants to configure more than one repository, it can be done by using the git_remotes option. Salt file server. The SaltStack, which comes along with a simple file server that is used for distributing the file to different Salt minions, is known as Salt File Server. It is basically a stateless 0MQ server which is developed into the master. The main purpose of Salt File Server is to represent the files for their use in the Salt state system. The Salt File Server can be used for transferring the general file to Salt minions from the Salt master. Git as a file server. Git is basically an open-source distributed version control system which is used for keeping the track of modifications made in the file. Salt sends the files using Git file server from the Git repositories. A user can configure the Git to file server backend list option, and if the user wants to configure more than one repository, it can be done by using the git_remotes option. Benefits of SaltStack. Robust. SaltStack is a simple, powerful, robust configuration management framework which can work efficiently with thousands of systems simultaneously without hassle. Authentication. SaltStack supports secure authentication. It uses Secure Shell protocol for the authentication purpose. secure. It maintains data security by using encrypted protocols. Fast. SaltStack is very lightweight, fast communication bus which is a base for the remote execution engines. Virtual machine automation. SaltStack uses virtual CAD controller capabilities for the virtual machine automation. Infrastructure as data, not code. SaltStack delivers model driver configuration management, simple deployment and commands execution framework. SaltStack Competitors, Salt, Chef, Puppet, and Ansible are the topmost orchestration and configuration management tools. Each of them follows a distinct path to server automation. They were developed for an easy configuration and management of thousands of servers. Among all of them, Salt is considered to be the best. Let's understand this concept in more detail that how the Salt is a strong competitor for Chef, Ansible, and Puppet. Platform and support. SaltStack is supported by the different versions of Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and Unix. It is supported by Scientific Linux, Red Hat Enterprise, CentOS, Oracle Linux, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server and Ubuntu. Ansible is supported by Scientific Linux via extra packages for Enterprise Linux, EPEL, Fedora distribution of Linux and some other operating system. Chef is supported by various platforms like Microsoft Windows, RHEL, CentOS, Solaris, FreeBSD, X and Ubuntu. Language supports. Salt origin from Python and support all language. Puppet origin from Ruby and supports only Ruby. Ansible origin from Python and supports all language. Chef origin from Ruby and supports only Ruby. Web User Interface. The web user interface of SaltStack offers the view of jobs running, event logs and minion status. Web UI of Puppet manage the inventorying, reporting and the real-time node management. The Web UI of Ansible allows to configure the users, groups, and inventories. It also applies the playbooks to inventories. Chef's Web UI allows the users to find the inventory nodes, view to node activities and assign the roles. Manage. SaltStack Enterprise is the main tool used for the management of cloud orchestration and the IT. Puppet supports two tools, Puppet Enterprise and the open source Puppet. Puppet Enterprise provides functionalities of the open source Puppet. The main tool used by Ansible for management is Ansible. CFE Engine is the configuration management. Performance. SaltStack is designed for providing high scalability and improved performance. The communication system of Salt develops continuous. It is secure to use and deliver high performance. It is secure to use, deliver high performance, and while using the Chef server, users often struggle to search as the search process is quite. Price and value. It is open source, free version. The SaltStack Enterprise can cost up to $150 per machine every year. Puppet is also free, open source version. The Puppet Enterprise may cost up to $1,000 per machine every year, free and open source version. Ansible is available as free of cost for 10 machines, and after that, you need to pay up to $250 per machine every year depending upon the support you requires. It is an open source version. The Enterprise Chef is free for the 5 machines, $120 for 20 machines and $300 for 50 machines per month.